I'm going to show you how List Zero can make you meaningfully more productive by doing two things. One is reducing overwhelm, and two is increasing your time in flow. List Zero helps you dramatically reduce the number of tasks on your list, and this reduces willpower drain and helps you get more of the right things done. This reducing of overwhelm is done with two main features. One is task stacks, and the other is the task ladder. Task stacks are a seamless way to break a big task down, so you only have to focus on the next step. Let's say that start a killer side project is something that you've had on your list for quite a while, and because it feels like a huge undertaking, you keep putting it off. In order to get moving ahead, you need to break it down. So you ask yourself, what's the next step? In order to start a killer side project, I need to find a killer idea. How do I know if it's a killer idea? I have to create an MVP to test it. I have to have a pool of potential killer ideas. So generate a potential killer ideas. And then to generate these ideas, let's say you can start that off by do one brainstorming session. So we've now taken something that's big and intimidating, which is start a killer side project, to, I'm going to zoom in on it now. You can see it has 5 steps. And the only step that you're focused on, because it's at the top of the stack, is do one brainstorming session. When you work on that and complete it, the next task in the stack is shown. And if the brainstorming session didn't generate enough ideas, you could say, talk to creative friend in niche X. Just an example, but it's very seamless to stack something on top of a task that's too large to get you going. Hopefully you can see how task stacks help keep the next action right in front of your face, and they reduce the number of tasks on your list by hiding them below the task that's on top. Next, the task ladder. You can see it here. It's composed of now, today, week, and later. And it is simple, but it's also powerful. Right now, you can see there are 4 tasks shown on my today list. And sometimes that can get really distracting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send 3 of them down to week. And now I only have one main task on my to-do list. I don't get distracted. Let's say I have maybe 3 tasks on my list. I don't want to move them off my today list for whatever reason. But if I want to focus only on task 3, I can move it to now. And then when I look at now, that's the only thing I see. This really helps me stay focused. So the task stacks and the task ladder both cover how you can dramatically reduce the amount of overwhelm you have with your to-do list. Now let's jump into how List Zero helps you increase your time in flow. There are 4 methods that List Zero uses. First is flow mode. You can see on any task that I click on, there's a little play button. When I press this button, my flow music will start, which you won't hear because I don't want it to drown out my voice, but it connects to your Spotify. Also, a floating pop-up will remain, and this floating pop-up will remind you of what task you're working on. So if you temporarily get off task, you can easily look at the floating pop-up and see what you were working on. Finally, you have a little timer that helps you see how long you've been working on this task. Second, list zero can be controlled almost exclusively with keyboard shortcuts. You can type question mark or press the little icon here to see all of them and learn them slowly as you become a power user. But they're designed to be very easy to use. Most of them are single digits. So I'm, for example, using J and K to move up and down the tasks. Third, there's a capture window. So let's say that you've closed list zero, you're in Chrome or in your IDE, and you have a killer idea. What you can do is use a keyboard shortcut and type that killer idea I don't want to forget. And that just went to raw. Raw, when you're not focusing on a task, is where you can go to see all the ideas you've entered. And the benefit of this is you don't have to get distracted by shiny ideas. You can file that idea away, knowing you won't have lost it, and then continue working on your tasks. You can also use the capture window for do that thing and then send it to the week category or the today category, etc. Finally, there is a Pomodoro countdown timer. So let's say that you've been putting off this talking to a creative friend in niche X. You can type T and set a 25-minute timer to talk to this person. You'll notice the floating pop-up will show, and instead of counting up, now it's counting down. So you have sort of a urgency. And that is it. I've shown you how List Zero helps you reduce overwhelm with task stacks and the task ladder, and how it can help you increase flow with flow mode, keyboard shortcuts, the capture window, and a Pomodoro timer. If List Zero seems like it could work well for you, feel free to check it out at getlistzero.com. Thanks for watching.